there's so much focus on the Epstein files, and the original Epstein files were in Palm Beach, where you were state attorney after the criminal case against Epstein was closed. But as you know, Epstein had, pulled his cameras, his hard drives before police searched his house. Authorities, I believe, never subpoenaed that. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you have victims' lawyers.
Oh, shit. Wait, is that true? What she said there, that before the FBI raided his house, he had already pulled cameras and a bunch of shit, like computers and shit were already fucking removed? Dude.
Lawyers and even journalists who have covered this case, who have questioned whether some of the state files, like the original files, may have actually been missing a lot of things and a lot of documents. Do you think that's the case?
It's hard to say, Brianna. There was an effort to get the grand jury transcripts at the state level, and the legislature had to change the law to release the grand jury transcripts. So now we see that. But that wasn't anything huge because we already knew most of the stuff there. So now the focus is on the Epstein files, which the Department of Justice has collected, and they have it in their possession in Washington, D.C. To your question, did the stuff from the state files get up to the files in D.C.? Probably. I am not aware of anything that has been missing. The thing that I am most interested in is that when the feds went into Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan mansion, they had to use an axe to break into his safe. And when they broke into his safe, they found thumb drives. What's on those thumb drives?
Oh, shit.
We don't know.
Oh.
So that's all part of the files. So that's another reason why people want to see this. It's more than just a grand jury transcripts at the federal level. That's only a portion of what people are looking for. They're looking for the files.
Yeah, and I wonder if you think this grand jury stuff is a bit of a distraction, considering looking at, the grand jury stuff.
Dude, the grand jury testimony is nothing, bro. I mean, compared, it's not going into the victims or the extent of the crimes or any of that shit. Okay, like the grand jury testimony, like we don't need that. We do need a complete unredacted like release of all the files, and they really should be like identifying what's on those thumb drives, the videos, and who's in them. And I mean, man, what I would love more than anything would be somebody who has like some of Epstein's like hidden shit. Like, he left copies somewhere, right? This guy has somewhere, he's got to have fucking something where, if he actually does have kompromat on people, he has a backup stash somewhere. I mean, you just know he does, right? He does, man.
Florida, it was even thought by investigators that wasn't, fulsomely pursued by prosecutors as it should have been. Maybe not as informative as some people would want it to be. Do you think that that's a distraction, this grand jury stuff?
Well, I do think that even if they get the grand jury materials at the federal level, it will only be a small portion of what the public is demanding. I think the Attorney General was right to say there is no client list because there is no client list, and to say that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself because he did kill himself. But as far as what's in the files, it's going to be a lot more than what's in the grand jury transcripts, especially now that we're hearing that only one or two witnesses testified before that grand jury, and it was law enforcement. So if you want to know what third parties were involved in the sex trafficking ring, you're not going to get it from the grand jury transcripts.
Not at all. You need the trial shit. Let's watch this video real quick. This is Virginia Giuffre's lawyer talking about the contents of these files. Little BBC News Night. You ready for a little BBC, guys? I mean, BBC News Night. Let's go. Oh, shit. Hey now. Dude, yeah. No, we got to keep talking about this. I'm serious. I'm going to keep making videos about this and exploring this until we get some answers. I'm telling you, even if Ghislaine shows up and she tries to exonerate Trump, we need to keep going. This is something that really, being a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, I just feel like an absolute connection with this, that we've got to be the voice for these victims, you know, because they're getting railroaded again.
Who was in his sphere at the time, who he was paying, who was paying him.
What do you make of what the Democrats have done today, this tactic of trying to force the administration to publish these files?
Well, it's really an exceptional move. I mean, I think this entire time, certainly on behalf of the survivors, they have been hoping for disclosure of this information. So now we're seeing this inter-struggle in the government where both sides are fighting for some different things. And ultimately, what we're hopeful for is that we will see more disclosure of the information underlying this over 20-year running sex trafficking operation.
But do you think this tactic the Democrats are employing today, this legislation that allows 5 senators to demand a document be published, do you think that could work?
I do think it can work. And what it does is it opens up more information than simply what the Trump administration is asking for with the unsealing of the grand jury testimony. So what the Democrats are asking for now would open up all of the files, all of the underlying government information from the investigations dating clear back to 2006 forward. So that's really an abundance of information that could flow out to the public if they're successful.
But isn't it likely that actually it will go to court first and we'll see another protracted legal battle rather than on this deadline of August the 15th that Chuck Schumer set today, that there'll be a deluge of documents? Actually, there'll just be a deluge of more court cases.
Oftentimes, of course, litigation can happen. We have a case going on right now on behalf of Virginia Giuffre, where we're seeking the unsealing of many documents from her case, and that has extended for many years. We recently got a success before the Second Circuit, but again, it has taken a tremendous amount of time to disclose that information. So I'm hopeful with this new move that we will see some, faster traction, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Do you think it could be realistically this year, or do you think we'll have to wait more years?
I think we'll certainly see something this year. I mean, you have both sides of the government pushing for different things. So I think we will see some disclosures coming up. And certainly in those for example, the other civil case, I think we will see some disclosures. I mean, the public is demanding answers. So the government is going to have to answer to them. So I do think things will start to move a little bit swifter.
I mean, the public might want to see the answers, but actually there are laws that protect people's privacy and people's reputations. Do you not think maybe sometimes the public have to be told, no, you don't have a right to know that?
Well, there's certainly a balance there. And of course, on behalf of the survivors, we have dedicated a significant amount of time trying to ensure that their information is protected. But underlying that, to have a full closure of this information is really a travesty of justice because it's hiding the perpetrators of these crimes. So the information does need to get disclosed.
I mean, Sigrid, no one knows this case better than you. What's your understanding of what these so-called Epstein files actually are? What could they be?
They have a tremendous amount of information in them. For example, it shows who was in his sphere at the time, who he was paying, who was paying him, email traffic, who he was emailing with regularly, and about what. I mean, they have a...
Oh, yeah. See, that's the thing that's really interesting that we haven't even thought about with the files are like all his emails, all his correspondence, right? Through this whole time that they collected. Right? All of the money information, like we know that Ron Wyden has gotten access to some of the money information, but this shit is all unredacted. Where he moved his money. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There is like so much.
Tremendous amount of information at their fingertips that really tells the story of how he operated for so many years successfully without being put in prison.
I mean, don't we kind of know that already?
We know some of that. I mean, we know some of that, but we don't know all of the who, what, why, where, when, right? And that's the reason why, most recently, the government has taken this action because there is a tremendous amount of information that the public does not know. So certainly I, as a litigant in those cases where there were protective orders, know a lot of information, but that has not been disclosed to the public. So this is the one way that the public can actually have a full understanding of who was involved, what happened, why it happened, all of those things. things.
The developments today about Ghislaine Maxwell and whether she's going to testify to this congressional committee. Do you think can you imagine a day where she is talking to them? It's on the record. We can all watch it.
You know, I'm not really sure that that will ever happen. And I'm frankly not sure that she should be given a microphone for that. I mean,
I agree.
Certainly this is somebody who is...
Dude, she's a serial liar, a convicted sex offender, a child abuser. You know what I'm saying? She like, there is no way she should be given a voice at all, man. Like, not a single peep. It should be like, oh, Ghislaine, you want to talk? Oh, okay, fuck you. Right? You know what I mean? I mean, dude,
Charged
Jesus.
with the government for perjury time and again. I deposed her multiple times where she committed perjury in those depositions, one question after the next. So why we would be holding our breath to hear from somebody who's a known perjurer, a known liar, it really is perplexing to me. She's not the person who would reveal all of that information.
Yeah, she's there to cover for her good buddy and her daddy's good friend, Donald J. Trump.
Really, you know, what you can see in the documents, what you can see in his electronic files, that's where you can find the answers.
And if we do end up in a situation where she's either granted immunity from further prosecution so she can speak to this committee, or, I don't know, President Trump pardons her so that she can then give her side in public on the record, would you challenge that? Is there a way you could prevent those things happening?
There are certainly, you know, a number of things from a legal perspective that we can try to do to challenge that. I mean, I've already written a letter to Todd Blanche about making sure that the interview that he was conducting last week would be recorded and under oath. We don't know if that happened, but there are certainly measures we can take on behalf of the survivors to...
Yeah, I'm sure that didn't happen, right? I mean, it should have. Todd Blanche's interview with Ghislaine Maxwell absolutely should have been recorded on the record, no stopping the tape, right? Like a straight unrestricted run through. But you know that didn't happen. I guarantee that didn't fucking happen.
Ensure there's some justice in this, that there's some fairness. We're not seeing that yet, but we can continue to try.
And sorry to be so brief on this, but how will you remember Virginia Giuffre? Because, I mean, history's already kind of writing the story that she was a tragic victim. How would you like us to remember her?
As a survivor, as fearless, as somebody who took on some of the biggest monsters in the world and didn't back down. I mean, she truly is a testament to really that courage and that, you know, relentless pursuit of something when it's the right thing to do. She will be missed tremendously.
Dude, it's so crazy. I mean, from the sound of it, see, I hadn't really heard a lot about the meat of Blanche's meeting with Ghislaine. But hearing that he went there with a list of 100 people, they went there getting specific information about specific people that I think Trump is trying to target. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.